Good afternoon, everybody. Jim Fleeler coming to you from our recording studio in Peterborough, Ontario. It's Wednesday, February the 17th of 2021, and thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk about the evolution and the most recent enhancements of wood floor coatings today, and particularly how they relate to COVID-19. Vice President of Sales in Canada, as always. Asquith Williams is our Chief Operating Officer and really in charge of regulatory and research and development and quality assurance. He's going to be joining us a little later on in the presentation for the 10 technical minutes and the question and answer period there. So that's your speakers today. What we're going to talk about, as always, is the latest COVID-19 information on how to really lower the risk of an outbreak. Obviously, questions are welcome during and after the webinar. We're going to talk really about a simple, cost-effective water-based wood floor coating program that really relates to all kinds of sports facilities there, and the importance of maintaining a foundation there, a protective foundation, because it indeed can lower the risk of any kind of outbreak of bacteria and viruses and things. So really how it relates there. And in our 10 technical minutes with Asquith, and really today we're going to talk about how the cleaning process works, and we're going to talk about chemical, mechanical, and thermal energy, and of course our questions and answers as well there. So really in the news these past couple of weeks has been the variant risk that's there. That strain is spreading. It's traveling across the globe. You can see on the top right hand corner that's not a friendly looking virus by any means, but that's a typical virus as a matter of fact there, but it's causing great concern. The CDC has predicted that it would become dominant in the United States by March, and lo and behold, it's already been discovered in as many as 22 states and all across other countries there as well, Canada and all other continents and things like that. The Department of Biology announced that the B.1.1.7 variant has been detected, and that's one that they're saying is dramatically faster, maybe a more devastating outcome. It's 50 to 70% more infectious than the original strain of COVID-19. But a word of caution is, look at this is what viruses do. Viruses come about to attack us. We have our defense mechanisms of disinfectants and sanitizers and cleaning protocol, so they begin to mutate and really alter their DNA structure, so they continue to survive, okay? And that's what viruses do. This particular time, this just happens to be making the news. It is very serious. Do not take that for granted that it is not, but that's typically what they do. So just a little bit of knowledge there around them. The good news is the governments have all stepped in with some very severe stay-home orders there, depending on where you are in the world. We really need to stop people from being mobile, and that's really about as simple as it is to a good way that we can slow the virus down. You know, in some airports, international airports across the world, they're severely restricting travel. We're coming up on March break for 2021 very soon. What have they done there? They've taken the 4 major airlines in Canada alone and basically stopped them from flying into sun destinations. You know, then when you come back, there's mandatory quarantine hotels. Apparently, if you fly out of the country and across borders, you may be forced to stay in a local quarantine hotel, which is authorized from between 3 to 14 days at your expense, right? You know, they're implementing major fines now. There is stay-at-home orders, you know, and the residential restrictions are really are about if you don't live there, don't go there. That being said, you know, there is the latest conversations going on about really lifting some of these restrictions, trying to get the economy going and whatever, if we're all practicing our social distancing and washing our hands and things like that. So there's a mix around the world wherever, and really follow your local Health Canada or your EPA or World Health Organization. Follow your local public guidelines there for the best really information there that's most accurate and up to date, because it changes every day. What role do we play? everything we do or do not do affects our facilities, our residential lives, our businesses, our co-workers, our health and wellness, right? So we all share that responsibility. And really what we're adopting a new term here for 2021 and beyond, and that's clean and safe. When you're talking to people, when you're talking to businesses, when you're talking to neighbors, I mean, everybody wants to be clean and safe. So that's what we're expecting. And if we all do our part, we should be okay. So let's get right into substrates, and we talk about protective coatings on porous floor. So what you can see here, this is a magnified floor of a terrazzo floor in a building here, and you can see it's very porous. So these little craters, I mean, just like on the surface of the moon or whatever, I mean, they can harbor bacteria and viruses. Sponges can do the same no matter what, right? And they can actually harbor there, they can grow and they multiply and they can possibly spread. I mean, just employee and foot traffic, public traffic, shopping cart traffic, wind, inefficient HVAC systems, things like that, anything with movement, can actually, once they've multiplied, can pull these out of these surfaces, make it very difficult for the cleaning crews to clean and get down in these embedded little nooks and crannies and things like that, creating a potential risk, okay? It doesn't matter what the substrate is, it doesn't matter if it's a sponge, it doesn't matter if it's vinyl floor, wood floors, whatever it is. That's why we always are relating to protective coatings for all kinds of floor surfaces out there, because it's safer for you. So how does that relate to wood floor sports programs? Well, it's very, very simple, right? It's the same porosity that's there. When you're in a wood floor gymnasium, you've got active, you've got sweat, you've got pop spills, soda spills, you've got bodily fluids, you've got all kinds of different things like that. So believe me, you're just as prone, in fact, more prone than typical tiles. So facilities requiring protective coatings: education sector, college, university, K-12, private schools, community halls, recreation halls, legions, sports training facilities. The list goes on and on and on. Fitness centers, net and ball games, dance clubs, bingo halls, churches, stadium rentals, presentation rooms. There's a lot of particular facilities out there that have wood floors and require a protective coating. So now, right now, as we're in February, it's an opportune time to refinish. The education sector and public facilities hopefully will reopen in 2021 in some capacity. Spring is typically the most popular time to refinish these floors, March break being probably the most famous week or the most popular week to do it. This year, we're not sure if we're going to have March break or we're not going to have March break. But I mean, what I do know is in the downtime when people are at home, working from home, not traveling as much, it's relatively easy to prioritize it. It's simple, it's cost effective, and it's uninterrupting because facilities are generally closed to the public or there's fewer people. Okay, the other thing too is you can prepare for reopening now. It's an opportune time. You can catch up from Christmas break if you didn't have an opportunity to get your wood floors resurfaced recoated at Christmas break time, or actually you can plan for March or summer break even now. And some people have said, well, we're not sure what's happening with the school year, so maybe we can do it now and prepare in case we don't go back to school, so we're prepared for the new school year of 2022, I guess it would be. So the good news is it is an opportune time. Now is the time to complete the project. We have shipped hundreds of thousands of dollars of the coating out, actually, as a matter of fact, in the last 30 days. And that just tells us that you, our customer, are actually redoing these floors or thinking about it seriously in the near future. So let's talk about the history of OMU wood floor coatings. OMU is oil modified urethane. They worked extremely well, but really the employee and the environmental risks outweighed the performance and the impact on our environment. Okay, it's been banned in many states, many provinces, many countries. If you remember oil-based paint, I mean, they used to work extremely well. The water-based paints that came along in the very beginning didn't work as well, but today, as a general rule, unless it's specific application for oil-based paint, 95% of us use a water base, and they work extremely well, right? But the VOCs are the risk. That's the volatile organic compounds, okay? That's what causes respiratory problems. That's what causes ozone layer depletion and things like that, and the risk, right? You know, well, the thing about OMU wood floor coatings is you always were required to use mineral spirits or Varsol or lacquer thinner, which were highly flammable. They were very offensive. You had skin, eye, and lung irritants there. And if I look at this, there's a can of lacquer thinner, and you can see these two symbols down here that do not, okay, that is not healthy for you, okay? So that's the risk with using this type of thing. That's the solvent-based poisons, flammability, everything else there. So it's safer for us, water-based programs. The evolution where we started, they failed in the early stages. I know people are surprised when I say, what do you mean you failed? Well, we failed. I mean, the development wasn't there. The technology wasn't there and this goes back as far as 1990. When we came out, the industry in general, by the way, we used a hardening catalyst, which was a part A and a part B, and you mixed them together. And once you did that, you had a very short shelf life. You had to mix it properly for at least 10 minutes. So the custodian and janitor had to mix it for at least 10 minutes. And if you short shifted that, or you did it too long or whatever, you had a variable outcome. The interesting thing that we found out is after several years is that most catalysts were really known or a suspect carcinogen, which I'm sure everybody knows there. That's not a good thing for us, okay? So the short shelf life, you didn't know how far it was going to go, how many square feet or meters or whatever, and if you mixed too much, you had to dispose of it, and that had a major budgetary impact, right? The other thing too is a catalyst made it extremely hard. So almost brittle. And what you need to know is all wood floors flex. In gymnasiums, sports facilities, they generally float. So if you've got a brittle coating, hard as can be, and you've got a floor that's a little bit of floating, sponging, flexing, you've automatically create cracking and flaking and increased labor because it peels and flakes, and then everyone blames the coating, and it really wasn't. It was just, it wasn't, it needs to move, okay? So these coatings, it's very important that you know that. You know, what we've done at Charlotte here is we've developed and fine-tuned our program for the last 20 years, and I can tell you we have a program that is what, in my opinion, the best program in our industry today. It will not let you down. Okay, so we've continuously fine-tuned, we've worked in the lab, we've worked in actual facilities applying thousands and thousands of square feet of coating. We've listened to our customers, addressing their challenges and perfecting, because it's not like doing a small 800 square foot area of a vinyl polymer coating, a vinyl floor and a polymer coating. When you do a gymnasium, it's 4 to 13,000 square feet, and if you've got something that doesn't work, it's a very costly process to redo, and it takes massive amounts of labor there. So we listen to our customer, and the result today is, I will guarantee you, we have one of the best, if not the best, in the industry. Okay, our proven program, it's pretty easy. There's 3 products. We have a surface prep. You can see it there, ES30. We've got a water-based coating, which is the champion of the real champion of the program there. And you've also got our clean, which is our regular maintenance cleaner. So you've got prep that basically prepares the floor. You've got the product, the actual coating that goes down, and then you've got the clean product, which is really required afterwards to give you the best clean and prolonging the life of your floor program. These are registered with UL, okay? So what you've got, that third-party peace of mind of the wood floor finish there, that it meets and exceeds the coefficient of friction for slip and fall prevention. So that is key. And what you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner on your screen is we have an optional high-gloss burnishing cream that if you have a burnishing program in your facility anywhere, you can take this product and you can take it from after or years of service and it starts to sort of fade a little bit, you can take it and build it up in minutes with burnishing to the highest gloss possible. So really, 3 main parts, but one as an optional to build an extreme high gloss. So what are the benefits with our program? These are live pictures, I guess not live, but pictures that I've actually specifically taken and been involved with the gymnasiums. You can't really, I mean, that look is flawless. That look is unbelievable. The image that portrays for the sports facility, the pride of the custodial and janitorial staff, I mean, visual looks, I mean, that shows right there that you care. Our program is very sustainable, it's cost effective, it actually has a higher product yield usually. It's about 800 to 1,000 square feet per gallon. It has a very low odor, so if you do it while your co-workers are in, teachers, principals, staff, whatever, you've got fewer complaints because it basically doesn't smell. In fact, it does not smell near as bad as if you're stripping out or scrubbing and recoating a vinyl floor. Okay, so fewer complaints are there. Safer, low VOCs, one of the lowest VOC ratings in the industry, improving employee wellness and really contributing to a better climate, a better atmosphere, better air quality. It's very quick dry time. It's really between 1 and 2 hours in between coats, depending on the humidity and air circulation, but it's ready for use in 24 hours. Okay, you know, that there, you can turn this floor around for rental income if that's relates to your particular facility. You've got 2 janitors or custodians can prep and recoat a typical gym in 1 day, dramatically lowering the labor. Okay, that cost is, as you know, it's about 90% of your cost there. It allows you, you can use it, you can prepare the floor with a swing machine, with an automatic scrubber and a wet vac. So typical common equipment is all that you need, so you don't need anything specialized there. Some additional benefits, it's very easy to apply. We recommend a weighted T-bar with our process because it seems to apply the right thickness pretty well every single time. You'll see on the screen on the right there, it actually has a milky appearance to it when you're putting it down. This dries absolutely crystal clear and transparent, but we actually have that in there so you can actually see where you've putting the product. And believe me, on the first coat you put down, it's relatively easy to see where you are, but on the second coat, because of the extreme gloss, if you do not have a spotter, you will miss spots, you will over apply. Even with this, and if you try to do it yourself, you'll certainly fail. Well, what I just said there, you'll fail. But really, I mean, the gloss is so high, if you didn't have that, you really wouldn't apply it very well. So that dries crystal clear. What we do know is that you can put your wear and tear of if you're in a basketball court, is in the key areas, right? And that's where the main traffic is. That's where all the aggressive traction of your shoes are and things. With our program here, we can even, if you've got a really heavy use gym, we can recommend that you actually put a quick coat in the keys. Okay, so that would be, you would put the quick coat on the keys, then an hour or two you're going to put your main first coat on your gymnasium, and then an hour or two after that, you're going to put your full second coat. That will give you the best return on investment at the lowest cost. What we do know also is that stuff happens. I mean, there's damage that happens. Bleachers are pulled out, there's scratches, there's flooding, there's all of these things. There's no ambering with our program here, so the product stays clear, so you can simply do a quick screen or SPP pad scrub in the damaged areas and recoat and blend in to repair, and it'll look like like nothing ever happened there. So that's nice, okay? And you can do that with very little downtime and no complaints from staff of offensive odors and things like that. It has exceptional adhesion, it has exceptional durability, it has a very high gloss, and the coaches will get their squeaky shoe sound, and that's really what a coach goes by, is they absolutely want that. Okay, so that's the program in a nutshell. We have on our YouTube, on our website, on our YouTubes, and you can see right here, if you go to the Media Center, you see webinars are circled. Our session today will be on there. We have blogs that are all kinds of different variable topics, and we have videos, and that's where you would find we've just put 2 recent videos up. I believe that this month of February we've put them up. That'll give you a real quick overview of our wood floor program and then a little bit more specific. So again, transferring knowledge to you, to the industry, to really help you lower the risk of an outbreak. If you look here also at our webinars, we've been conducting them since last March, which is almost a year now. I believe there's 34 or 35 of them on there and all kinds of YouTube videos. Be sure to click on those. Be sure to register to our webinars there. We're doing a lot of virtual knowledge now, obviously, because we can't go into a lot of sites here. But today's is wood floor care. The next one that's extremely interesting, which is March 17th, is ghost kitchens. And a lot of people don't know what a ghost kitchen is, but once you find out, you're going to be amazed in how it will impact you in your residential life as we go ahead as far as eating and at restaurants and things like that. And this is really came up because of COVID, so that's a must watch. In April, we're going to talk about spring floor care and really reducing labor costs associated with that. Our YouTube videos, go on them on our website. I just showed you that. Click and subscribe there, and then you'll automatically get email notifications there for sure. And wait for our revitalizing and our fine-tuning of our website. You're going to see a lot. You'll see a lot now, but you're going to see new and improved digital resources on there and apps and things like that. All there designed to help you lower the risk of an outbreak, and that's really at Charlotte what keeps us going day in and day out, you know, without question. There's a little shot of the YouTube channel there. That's there. There's a multitude of videos there, and I think with that being said, I think we'll switch and we'll introduce Asquith here, and we'll go to our 10 technical minutes. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Asquith. How was your Valentine's?
Oh, quiet.
Did you behave?
We have to behave.
Did you remembered Valentine's Day, right?
I had you remind me.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, I mean, look, today's Wednesday the 17th. I mean,
where's the time going, Jimmy?
I don't know. It was March the 13th when we did our first one. So
no way.
Just so you know, we'll have an anniversary there. Our next one we do is March 17th, so we'll be actually surpassed the year there.
Are you going to bring a cake?
We'll do there. Yeah, you can bring a cake and the whole works. I'm sure the audience will maybe want some for sure.
We'll work with Jennifer. Jennifer will bring us a cake.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got good reviews coming in from the 10 technical minutes, and just good basic questions are coming in from, I mean, people didn't know what pH was, they didn't know the scale, they didn't know ppm and, you know, parts per million and all those and how they reflect. And as you know, all we're trying to do is give them a little bit of education and knowledge as to how to really clean better and be safer, right? Lower the risk of an outbreak in there, and thanks that. So what are you going to talk to about us today there? What do you think?
Well, we can talk about cleaning, we can talk about surfactants, so we can talk about why cleaning, why surfactants work, and so forth. Yeah. It's a long topic, but we could.
Well, you remember, 10 technical minutes. This isn't 12 or 15 or whatever.
We'll try to squeeze it in.
But we have a series, I know, in the future. I mean, I think today you're cleaning processes. I'll talk a little bit about, I think we advertise mechanical and thermal energy and things like that. So I think you want to maybe stay there. But in the, I know we've got lots of questions on what's a surfactant and what's are there solvents involved, enzymes involved, all of those kinds of particular things. So we've got a series we can put in there, so let's not rush too much. But.
Yeah, and you do know, though, as well, you know, cleaning, it sort of comes right full circle with what we talked about last time. We talked about pH, you know, and how we basically got soap made and so forth for cleaning.
Yeah.
So it all sort of
it all
gels together.
Gels, I guess it would.
Yeah,
so we've got Jen with us today too. So our IT director and our new one in training, because we need a couple of them. Do we have any questions today, Jen? Any questions come in and from our thing? Oh, there he is. She's camera shy. Look, Chris used to come out front, and she's hiding out back there. But
we'll get her here soon.
Yeah, there it is. There.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another array there for sure. There, but maybe just explain. Maybe go to the board and tell us how our cleaning processes work there.
Okay. We can talk
chemical,
a bit about that.
mechanical, and thermal energy. I guess is really what it is.
Well, let's start first with soap.
Okay.
Remember last time we talked about soap, and we talked about that fancy word called saponification.
Yes.
And basically, it's oils or grease plus an alkali or base. And then because this is insoluble in water, right? And then that goes here to soap, which is now, as we all know, soap is very soluble in water.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So with that in mind, it's quite easy to see we're going from insoluble, which is very difficult to clean. We put a base in here, which is something, it could be sodium hydroxide. It could be other things, potassium hydroxide, that type of stuff. And with that, we get something here that's very soluble. The same thing goes for cleaning any other surface. Remember we talked about last time about most of our cleaners are very alkaline, because most soils over here basically fatty acids, right? Fatty acids are on the acidic side on the pH scale, and we talked about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of making all this happen, we then use, and soap's been made for millennia. You know, the Babylonians made soap. You know, the fats and the grease and the grime and stuff like that from animals and into the ash that was formed from fires.
Right.
You know, when rain fell, it started sudsing. And of course, they said, hey, we got magic here.
Yeah. And then they started to compact it or put it on in a powder maybe back in those biblical days.
Yes,
and
of course.
Yeah.
And then it rose, you know, where they started using olive oil in Italy in the 7th century and so forth, until it became straightforward with making soap for many centuries, until, say, the First World War, when, of course, you know, a lot of the materials weren't readily available, and of course, from there, we started synthesizing surfactants. We can come to that maybe another time. But for now, you know, when we talk about cleaning, we're talking about moving things from soils, and not just grease and grime, because we spoke about that very often. But we're talking about even today, which is very vital. We talk about bacteria, viruses, you know, microbes in general, moving them away. And you need surfactants to do that, because these things are sticky. They stick to surfaces. So, you know, that's what all happens. Now, you know, cleaning is a process that takes a lot of energy.
Right.
You know, it takes mechanical energy. You know, our forefathers used to be hitting things on a stone next to the river. That's mechanical energy. We know, you know, fast
When
forward.
I grew up, at the laundry tub, I had the little serrated
yes,
board that you had.
The washer board.
The washer board. That's what it was.
Just like your chest.
Yeah, exactly. You know, all those 6-pack or 8-pack, I think it is.
Right? And you wash. That's mechanical energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That helps clean.
Yes.
Of course, we tend to minimize that by using chemical energy, right? You know. So if I have to do a circle, just to show you in terms of cleaning soils, say we had a circle like this, you can divide the circle up into sections. You can have mechanical energy here, you know, beating the thing, scrubbing, moving
agitation,
things.
I guess.
Agitation,
Yeah.
You have chemical, and with the chemical energy, of course, you mitigate a lot of this sort of stuff.
Yes.
Right? And temperature, you know, you heat things up, you know, fats and oils, you can see if the temperature increases, it becomes more soluble and easier to move about.
So hotter water.
Hotter water.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And of course, time. Time is very, very important.
Yeah.
If you had all week, you could certainly wash your jeans just by moving them around and in just plain good old-fashioned water. Right? But you don't have that much time. So you can move these things around with, you know, the amount of chemistry, the amount of temperature, the amount of time. And you can move that thing around. But most important, of course, is water. Right? And the water, everything stands on the water. The water is critical. And we can talk about builders and so on, but we could do this at a different time.
Yeah.
What aids the water in making more efficient, and what aids the water in making the water wetter to do this job. And that's where surfactants come to play and so forth. So we could touch on that some more, maybe in another time.
Yeah, we'll add those on the next webinar is what we'll do. Right?
And we could talk about surfactants and so on.
Yeah.
But mechanical energy, you know, we used to call it the 3 T's: time, temperature, turbulence.
Yeah.
Mechanical, chemistry, and so forth.
Yeah.
So
so
that's
one of the
basically
quick questions. That's one of the first questions here.
This
Mary has asked about the 3 T's of cleaning: time, temperature, and turbulence. Is there a difference? And I think you just answered that.
Okay, Mary, we've got that question answered.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I guess it's just the way. But I mean, time. To me, and I'll just go, look, we're in the middle of this virus outbreak. We've got some, you know, global health concerns there. Time, we've been saying all along about respecting the dwell time of disinfectants and sanitizers, you know. And you're talking about here coming back from the biblical days, and back in the, you know, the Babylonians and stuff. And I mean, you did say a full circle in the whole entire works there. So that's good. Well, that's it. Well, that's great. Well, see, it's amazing. I mean, we're probably smarter than we know. We just need to revisit it and implement it with today's times and standards and things like that, and that's some of the things that we've done. But you know, I remember back in the day when I started in our industry in the very, very early I don't even want to say, but the 80s, but the early 80s, I can tell you, we sold truckloads of bar soap. Bar soap, cold cream and deodorant, lotion soap and whatever in a 3-ounce or a 4-ounce bar. And it was truckloads. And then, you know, the hotels back then bought the little mini bars that, I mean, they were about the most, like, that was a terrible thing. You'd hang on to that for 5 seconds, fall, and like you'd chase it around the bottom of the shower or something like that. But I mean, so we've come a long ways. I mean, now bar soap, I mean, imagine now in a school or a hospital with us all sharing the same bar of soap. I mean, I mean, that's a fundamental change, you know, without question.
Even though one may say, because of the alkalinity nature of the soap, microbes didn't really live there very long.
You
know, so it, you know, we were still relatively safe.
We were smarter I think I got a nice, I'll add in when we do it up here, I mean, positive emulsion. I mean, positive emulsion and a bar soap, how it relates is a pretty cool visual that you can think of there. But we got to, you know, I'm looking at our clock here, holy cow, you're going to have to change it to 10 and 20 technical minutes with us or something. Okay, sounds good. So here's Veronica. Great Charlotte blogs. Thank you for sharing the variety of topics, real people, real answers. So please continue. That's good. Here's David. Can you explain the difference, the different cleaning result when using cold, mild, or hot water in cleaning solutions? Does it relate to the quality of the product or the soil load? So I guess David's asking about how does it relate the different temperature waters, which I think you've covered a little there.
If you heat things up, technically you speed up the chemical reaction, and so you'll be able to clean a lot faster and better. However, it varies too, depends on what you're cleaning and with what solutions you're cleaning. So for instance, if you've got a solution that has some volatiles, then of course you don't want to use hot water because you're flashing off a lot of the active ingredients that do a lot of the cleaning. Right? So it all depends on the what the substrate that you're trying to clean and the chemistry that you're using. So it all depends. Now, in today's world, again, you know, we talk about surfactants, and we'll do that at a later date. Because of technology, you know, with all these carbon chains and so on, synthetically put together, you know, you have all these micelles and you have, you know, hydrophobic sides and things, and you put them together, they can grab all these insolubles and they can work really, really well with just absolutely cold water.
So all temperatures
Cold water.
basically is
Oh,
what they
yes.
can do, yeah.
So it
Well,
all depends, but in general terms,
Yeah.
yes, he's right.
well, you remember in the energy crisis we had in the 70s, was it? At the 70s in North America, the energy crisis. I mean, it was all temperature,
That's right.
you know, and cold water. I know it was tied, you know, not to, you know, not pushing any names, but I mean, that was the marketing and the science at the time there. So, because you couldn't afford to generate hot water because of the energy crisis, right? You know, and things like that. So chemistry really does play a big part, doesn't it? There. So here's Clifton. Will hot water speed up those may have answered it here. Will it speed up the cleaning process in laundry applications? Hot water.
Yes, but again, there in laundry, you got to be careful as well, because you know you got to make sure that the stuff to be laundered is suitable for higher temperatures. Yeah. So it all depends. So in general terms, yes.
But check the tag.
Yes.
Right? There's
yes.
instruction tags, hot water, all of those. There's ones that say, I know I'm not really a big laundry person myself, but I see it being done. But I know there's all you know, not for in the dryer and all of those kinds of things there for sure.
So it all depends.
Yeah.
So and again, it's the process by which you're doing this. If you're bleaching the product, then the answer is no, because then you'll flash up all the bleach, you know, and so forth. It depends which segment of the wash cycle you're in,
yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah, well, that's good information. Here's Roger. I hear that the introduction of liquid fabric softener was in the 1970s. Is that true? Fabric softener. I mean, it's pretty common. Was that in the 70s?
Yes, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Jeez. And it was, but there was no sheets back then. I mean, there were no
sheets.
tablets. It was all. Yeah. Wow, that's
basically it's basically introducing some of the fats that we talk about here back into the laundry.
Yeah.
You know, to reduce static cling.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. You know, that's for sure. Here's Seb. Does the amount of time you soak soiled microfiber cloths have an impact on the end result? Soaking.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Again, dwell time.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mechanical energy, time, the whole entire works, turbulence. So yeah. Well, these are all good. These are. You know what's like is good is people want to know, right? I mean, they've got these little questions, and I shouldn't say little. I don't mean to put it down a little. They've got these questions that may appear that everybody knows, but exactly there. Here's Derek. Will you ever cover laundry cleaning topics, manual or automatic systems? We could use some assistance with that for sure.
Of course.
You're the laundry guru. You know, you are there, and we do offer a complete commercial line of laundry and dish, as a matter of fact. There, so that's
dish, we can touch on that as well.
Yeah, so there's Derek saying that. Thanks, Derek, because we can add that to our future because that's why we do it, and that's why we listen to you on the topics there. Here, Shirley, is it fair to say that the more frequent we dust and damp mop our wood floors, the longer we should expect them to maintain their gloss and foot traction? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without question.
Science of cleaning, you know, without question, using the right product. Our prep there, our Enviro Solutions prep cleaner, it's actually there behind you, ES30. Or sorry, not the prep, the clean is what it is. Sorry, I almost had to use in the prep, but the clean, that's built with the right surfactants, the aggressive enough, but yet mild, so it doesn't bite into the sheen. Exactly. And that's there. That'll give you that. That'll prolong the life of your floor. So that with dust mopping and that cleaning with that product at the right dilution, I mean, that's definitely the best way to go. So that's surely there for you. Got two more here, because I know we got about a minute here, Asquith. Geez, you put me under this pressure all the time. Bob, if I want to increase the shine of my wood floors, how do I use the burnishing cream and what pad? I know.
You've got that. You normally have a pad.
Yeah, I don't have a pad here, but I can tell you this is Bob. Yes. Bob, I talked about this ES94 Plus a little bit in the presentation. This is a burnishing cream that's designed specifically for us that we've actually tested. Even with your team's assistance there, it's a flip top. Think of your toothbrush being 3 inches long. Okay, so you would put a 3-inch dab rub down on the floor, similar to toothpaste, and blend your pad in there. We recommend a natural hair pad, and you can vary with the brand depending on your actual type of burnisher with pad pressure and RPM. But you blend in that first 3 inches into your pad so it preps your pad, and then you put another 3 inches down, and you're good for about 800 to 1,000 square feet. If you want instant gleam with no odor whatsoever, and you want instant traction, that is it. That prolongs the life of your wood floor program. It actually gives you instant grip. So if the coach or anybody complains that the floors are a little slippery, maybe someone spilt something,
that's
away
what
you
we
go.
call increasing the static coefficient.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's 94 plus, and that's an Enviro product there. And I've got one more question. Will you be this is Vern, will you be covering other elements of cleaning products in the future? I've heard some terms such as surfactants, solvents, and enzymes, and I'm not sure what they all do to assist. Would you be so kind as to add those?
We'll add them in, and we'll talk about those things as we move forward.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
how all these things come together to make cleaning a lot easier and simpler and more effective.
Yeah, I think we'll do that for sure there. Just one note in signing off there. I know a lot of agencies have recalled, public health departments have recalled more hand sanitizer in the last few weeks. I think another 10 or 20 have been recalled there. You know, it was fine when it was all you could get. And you needed something, but these inferior ones, I mean, we call this your family, all of these specific products there, the hand sanitizer, but now's the time to buy the quality. Buy the right one, buy the safe one. #1 alcohol, great moisturizer, great product, great peace of mind there for you. That's right. And registered, you know, registered with public health departments and the whole works there. So that's good. But yeah, and it's good the government's actually weeding them out a little bit there too, you know, and things like that. So with that being said, I think we're probably over time here, but February, it's over 10 minutes for sure. Yeah. So the next one is March the 17th. March break if it happens or not, and I'll turn it over to you for closing remarks. How's that?
You know, I often say, even though the vaccines are out, it's going to take us a while to get the vaccine. You know that. And even if we had the vaccine, because of the different mutation that's taking place within the virus itself, we still have to practice safe distancing.
Yes.
We still got to wear a mask.
Yes.
I mean, you got yours in your pocket, I got mine. Once we get together, we've got that on. And we still got to continue to wash our hands. All the time.
For sure. Good advice from Asquith. Thanks very much for joining us and bringing in your 10 to 20 minute technical questions there. But we tied it into Q&A at the same time. But basically, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your participation. Thanks for the questions. Keep them coming. And we'll see you on March 17th. And don't forget to visit charlotteproducts.com. Thank you.